I built an entire cinematic short film using AI, start to finish, and the result genuinely caught me off guard. Almost everyone who tries to make an AI short film runs into the same three problems. The characters look different in every shot. The movement feels stiff and unnatural, and the clips never connect, so the whole thing feels like a slideshow instead of a film. The reason is almost always the same. People try to do everything with one single AI tool and expect it to handle planning, visuals, motion, and sound all at once. No tool does that well. What the people actually producing good AI films do differently is use a stack, multiple tools, each handling the one thing it's best at, working together. So in this video, I'm breaking down the exact 6-tool pipeline I used to build a short cinematic film from a blank page. By the end, you'll know exactly what to use at each stage, so your generations don't fall apart the second you try to stitch them together. Let's get into it. The first tool isn't a video tool at all, it's Claude 𝐸𝐸, and this is the step almost everyone skips. Before generating a single frame, you need the whole story mapped out. So I opened Claude and gave it a rough concept, a 60-second cinematic short set in a near-future city during a blackout, following two estranged siblings forced to work together to escape a collapsing building with a clear arc and one decisive action sequence. Claude took that and turned it into a structured story, broken down shot by shot with a clear beginning, escalation, and ending. It wasn't perfect on the first pass, so I went back and forth a few times, tightening the pacing and clarifying the action beat. Once that was locked, I had a complete shot-by-shot blueprint for the entire film. This matters for a second reason too. Claude now has full context on the story. Later, when I need it to help write generation prompts, I'm not re-explaining anything. It already knows the characters, the setting, the tone. But right now, all of this is still just text on a page. To actually animate anything, I need consistent visuals first. This is where Soul Cinema comes in, an AI image model built into Higgsfield, specifically for keeping characters and environments visually consistent across an entire project. The first thing I generated was a character reference sheet. This is non-negotiable if you want a film to look like one continuous world instead of a different person in every shot. I uploaded nothing and just used a text prompt. Full character reference sheet, front, back, and side view, plus 2 close-up expressions, wearing a worn tactical jacket, gritty near-future realism, consistent lighting. I repeated this for the second sibling character, giving each one a distinct visual identity, different jacket color, different build, different expression default, so they'd never be confused for each other once both were in motion. Here's the mistake almost nobody catches until it's too late. People lock in their characters and completely skip the environment. Then their backgrounds shift, lighting changes, the architecture looks different scene to scene, and the whole film feels disconnected even when the characters look fine. So the next thing I generated was a full environment reference. Grid of multiple angles, a flooded underground parking structure during a power outage, emergency lighting only, water reflections, concrete and rebar exposed. That one reference sheet became the visual anchor for every location-based shot in the film. Now I had locked references for both characters and the setting, but there was still a piece missing, the thing that actually makes a film feel like a film instead of a tech demo. I'll get to that. First, we need to map this out properly. This step is the visual version of what I did with Claude earlier, and it's the one that separates people who finish good AI films from people who generate 40 disconnected clips and give up. I used Figma to lay out the entire film on a single board. Every scene, every character reference, every location reference, all in one place, in order. This is exactly how serious AI filmmakers organize their projects before animating anything. Building this manually sounds like a lot of extra work, but Claude can connect directly to Figma now. Since it already had full context on the story from step 1, all I had to do was paste in a prompt asking it to build out the storyboard structure with placeholders for each reference image. Claude generated the board layout automatically. I just dropped my character and environment sheets into the placeholders. In a few minutes, the entire film existed as a visual sequence I could actually look at and plan around, not just a script, not just loose reference images, but a real shot-by-shot map. From here, I generated a handful of keyframes using 𝐻𝐵𝗎𝗄 Pro, just the starting frame for each major scene, since most clips would use the previous clip as their reference point going forward. One example prompt: cinematic wide shot, the male sibling standing at the edge of a flooded corridor, emergency light flickering behind him, sister's silhouette visible in the distance. With the storyboard fully populated, it was time for the part that actually matters most: motion. After testing pretty much every AI video generation tool currently available, SeaDance 2.0 is the one I keep coming back to, specifically because of how it handles motion. It respects real-world physics in a way most models don't, which makes a massive difference for anything involving movement, contact, or action. Two prompting techniques made a real difference in quality here. The first is what I call the 6-point structure: subject, action, environment, camera, style, constraints. Here's the prompt I used for the opening shot. Subject: 𝐦𝐸, mid-30s, tactical jacket. Action: running through ankle-deep water, turning back to check behind him. Environment: flooded parking structure, flickering emergency lights. Camera: low-angle tracking shot. Style: gritty cinematic realism, desaturated tones. Constraints: no dialogue, no text overlays. Following that structure every time gave SeaDance a precise, unambiguous brief. The second technique is timeline prompting, for shots with multiple camera moves or beats. Instead of cramming it all into one description, I broke it down second by second. 0.2 seconds, static wide shot. 2.4 seconds, camera pushes in as she turns. 4.6 seconds, quick cut to her expression. SeaDance's multi-shot handling made these sequences come out far more coherent than a single blended prompt ever could. And the genuinely useful part: I could paste this whole framework into Claude and have it write out clean, structured prompts for every remaining shot automatically. The one limitation every tool runs into is generation length. Most cap out around 15 seconds per clip, which is exactly why long AI videos usually feel choppy and disconnected. SeaDance's video extension feature solves this directly. Feed it the previous clip as a reference, and it carries the motion and visual feel into the next segment instead of starting from scratch. By chaining clips this way, the film stayed visually continuous from the first frame to the last. At this point, every shot in the film was fully animated, but it still felt like something was missing. Quick gut check before the last two steps: if you've tried making an AI short before and it fell apart at the editing stage, drop a comment with which part broke down for you. Is this the same issue most people run into? This is the tool that turns a technically impressive video into something that actually feels cinematic, and it's the step people skip most often. Suno generates full music tracks, with lyrics or pure instrumental, and the quality is genuinely close to a professional film score. For this project, I needed something that could carry tension during the action sequence and shift into something quieter and more emotional for the final scene. Inside Suno, you get 3 modes: Write, where you paste in your own lyrics; Prompt, where Suno writes lyrics for you; and Instrumental, which is what I used here. My prompt: tense cinematic instrumental, low pulsing bass building through the action sequence, shifting into a soft piano-led theme for the final 15 seconds, 130 BPM. In under a minute, Suno produced a full custom track that matched the emotional arc of the film almost exactly. To show you what this actually does, here's the opening scene without music, then with it. That difference is not subtle. The score does more work in making this feel like a real film than almost any other single step in the process. The last step is putting everything together, every clip in order, with the soundtrack layered underneath. You've got 2 real options here: CapCut, if you just need to arrange clips and drop in music cleanly and quickly, or Premiere Pro, if you want more control, advanced transitions, color grading, finer audio mixing. For this project, CapCut did exactly what was needed: arrange the sequence, sync the music to the key beats, and export. No unnecessary complexity for a short-form piece like this. And that's the complete workflow I used to create this AI short film from start to finish. The biggest takeaway here is that great AI films aren't created by finding one perfect tool. They're created by combining the right tools into a system. Claude handled the story, Soul Cinema kept the visuals consistent, Figma organized the production, SeaDance brought everything to life with motion, Suno added emotion through music, and CapCut tied it all together. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe because here on ProfitTube, I test the newest AI tools, break down workflows, and show you how creators are using AI to produce content faster, better, and often for free. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.